Welcome back, guys, to another midweek review. Right, I am joined by a good friend of mine, Leo. Say what's up, Leo.
Hello, hello. We're back.
Yeah, yeah, welcome back, welcome back. So we're gonna be going over what we talked about in the beginning of the week, trying to give you guys an update on what we're still looking at and what we're expecting for the rest of the week on the rest of these pairs that we've been going over. So if you guys haven't watched the first video, I recommend you go into that first video just because this is gonna be a shorter video. It's gonna be a little update on what we're looking at and if our bias has changed and whatnot. So let's get started on Dixie. So this is a daily chart for the Dixie, right? I know it's not labeled here, but I was trying to get that for you guys, but somehow was not working. But this is the daily chart of Dixie, right? And if you guys pull up our video or what we talked about before the market opened, you guys can see that we had Dixie coming down for these into this daily imbalance and then looking for to run the buy side up here, right? So as soon as market opened on Monday, it dropped lower. Tuesday came lower again, but look at how it respected the consequent approachment of this daily imbalance, which is what I really liked, right? This inversion fair value gap that some of you guys have may have noticed here, it's actually from the 4 hour. So when we go down to the 4 hour, you guys should be able to see that. And then obviously Wednesday, we have this nice run lower here, takes out Tuesday low, and then in my opinion, creating the weekly low here. And then we see a nice move higher again, closing above the consequent encroachment, which is very favorable for bullishness, yeah, for Dixie. Right. So is there anything else you want to add here for them, Leo?
No comment on Dixie.
No
I think you
comments?
covered everything.
No, sounds good. Let's go into the 4 hour. Right. So the 4 hour, as you guys can see, the H4 inversion is right there. Right. We see price come trading into it. Right. It does close below the constant encroachment here on the 4 hour, but it is the daily imbalance. So it did not close below the constant encroachment on the daily. So just remember that. Like I'm not invalidating it just because the 4 hour here closes below that. Right. But we do see price come down here, takes out the low here, comes down to the daily imbalances low perfectly, right? Like I said, you can't beat perfect, right? We see price come up, run higher, price then retrace, hits right into this order block here, right? Into a level of discount, price then runs higher, right? So I am still looking for price to continue running into this buy side liquidity. So far I did like this. I was able to catch GU last night. For a actually a contrarian trade, but we'll go over that at the end of the week review. But for this one, I just want to give you guys an update on Dixie still. So like I said, Dixie, I'm still looking for Dixie to go for this buy side here, and maybe even if they can get really animated and get up into this buy side here. But for the rest of the week, it's still like kind of unsure, right? There's still been a lot of things going on in the real world. So I don't know how much that's gonna affect the markets and if that will allow the markets to move that much. But yeah, we'll see. We'll just wait and see for now. Is there anything else you want to add here, Leo?
Not at the moment.
No, okay, no worries. Okay, let's go into EU. So we have EU on a daily time frame, right? If you guys see that this is just Dixie but flipped, right? A lot of people do say that. And we saw that Dixie moved well with EU, right? EU was able to run into this imbalance just like Dixie was, right? But some of you guys may have noticed that EU closed up in above the constant encroachment of this imbalance. But remember, you're using Dixie to kind of help guide you and see what is EU wanting to do, right? So we did expect EU to run into this, right? So if you guys were able to catch sells in here, you guys were like could catch sells in here. And we saw that price did run up into it, run up above, the daily imbalance high, but it did close below it, which is really good, right? That's a good sign that maybe the markets are still going bearish and it's not going bullish, right? Because if they did close above, I would be very uncertain. I'll be like, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is gonna keep going for these highs here. Who knows, right? So, but at the moment, right, we saw that they did close below it, which is really good sign, and we saw this big movement lower from it. So, I am in favor that this is still wanting to come down to sell side liquidity down here, right? Same thing with or opposite of Dixie. We want Dixie to keep going higher, EU to keep going lower for these lows down here. Anything else you want to add here, Leo?
Oh yeah. It's a little more micro, but I would like to point out the Wednesday wick.
Okay.
The tail.
This one, right?
Oh no.
Tuesday.
Like last week's. Last week's.
This
Yeah,
one
that
here.
that wick. Yeah,
Yeah.
we see EU running into the middle of that and kind of rejecting lower, which is a good sign. And the
Yeah.
bodies are below the imbalance too. So again, a very good sign for bearishness.
Yeah, yeah. So if you guys do want to pull that up on your own chart, just draw your fit from that body to that wick right there. You guys can see where constant encroachment is, and you can start seeing how price traded into that very nicely and then responded off that. But yeah, I think that should be it for EU daily. Let's go into EU 4 hour. Right. So we do see EU 4 hour, right? Price did run buy side here, drop lower, continue running buy side to really push price higher into a level of premium for them to then, accumulate sells for the market makers to go low, for them to go lower. Right. So as of right now, like I said, I still do think EU can run these lows. I just want to see what they want to do here, right? Market is about to open or just open for us. So, we'll just sit on our hands, don't try to just say, oh, they think it's gonna go lower, sell. Just wait. If you have a model, wait for your model if it shows you that, right? But for our bias, we think it's gonna go lower for sell side, and then for Dixie, we think it's gonna go higher. All right, very very simple on EU 4 hour. Anything you want to add here, Leo?
No.
No. Okay, let's move on, and you can take it away, Leo. This is yours.
This is EU daily. Little different from EU. It didn't trade into the imbalance, the daily imbalance, and it's kind of just consolidating. It's a lot more choppy than EU if you zoom in, but it's a nice reaction that it didn't trade into that imbalance at all because it indicates heavy bearishness on the pound. My target for the week would be 121 to 23, and the buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency levels. Where that old low is resting. That would be my targets for the week if the U gets animated. For the most part, the daily is good. It stayed under equilibrium of the current daily range, and it's closing in lower.
Yeah.
So I'm to the 4 hour.
4 hour, yeah, got you. Go for it.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more choppy than EU, but order flow is still respecting premium arrays. So I'm glad to see that. Yeah, not too much to say. I will say that because dollar was running higher and this is consolidating, it kind of gives me kind of to lower my risk on GU.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, I don't know if you traded this one, but did you trade anything on GU or not?
I didn't. I'm just doing my weekly look on GU for this one.
Yeah,
I traded mainly indexes this week because I didn't really like how choppy this was. It looks like it's going to expand out of that consolidation though, so I'll be keeping a lookout on that for that Thursday and Friday news.
Yeah. Let's move on from GU. And if you guys have any questions or anything, you guys can just leave them down in the comments. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. This is still yours, crude oil.
Yeah, so crude oil ran up prior to my Monday analysis. However, it's still in the cards whether it will run lower, but because it ran higher, I do see it being able to take out buy side liquidity, like for example at 88.97. But what's a good thing is that price is respecting that daily bearish order block. The bodies aren't closing into it. It's mainly the wicks. So bearishness is still allowed, I would say. I would be looking at the lows. I marked them out in red. We'll see on the 4 hour a little bit clearer, but I would be looking for price to trade down, violating those levels. If they do, then I will favor bearishness more. However, there is a chance that price could run up into buy side liquidity before going lower because I'm seeing a little bullish sentiment on crude oil.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I like what you said about how price came up into or wicked up into this bearish order block, right? And then it closed below the mean of it, which is very, very solid. And we see that this comes up right into the open of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm looking for a nice expansion. I think it's probably just waiting on news for really to have it push lower. So if you guys want to trade oil, maybe don't trade it too early. You guys might be stuck in some consolidation on lower time frame. But yeah, let's go into the 4 hour. Take it away, Leo.
Yeah, so on the 4 hour, that's mainly where that purple imbalance was anchored off of the 4 hour. You see how it respects the means, right? Sorry, the consequent encroachment 50% level of that sell side imbalance buy side inefficiency, which is really good to see. However, it does give me a little less bearishness that to see that run up on around like the 18th, those two up candles, coming off of the discount levels. But I'll have to see what price does next. This is a little 50-50 in the cards right now. So if I was to be a crude oil trader, I would look for the market to tip its hand for me. I would be sidelined right now, to be honest. If I do see it run up, that's great. Into a deeper premium, I would look for more sells there. But if it runs lower, I would look for a retracement to sell on, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
very, very solid.
yeah, but mainly because the dollar is running higher, I'm more biased to take shorts instead of being a contrarian and trading long on those upswings. So this is a very sideline watch for me.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, just because we're giving you our analysis doesn't mean you try to trade every single thing we're talking about, right? We're trying to give you guys just our weekly out analysis and our outlooks on what we think price could do, right? We could very well get it wrong, right? That's the whole point of trading. It's being able to be wrong and being able to continuously be profitable in the long term, right? So let's move on from crude oil for our. We have E-mini for S&P. Still yours. Go for it.
All right, so I think I covered this last video where price respected the bearish breaker levels in red. Um, it's nice that we see the bodies around respecting the daily bearish order block mean threshold. I'm not sure which days there are. Let me pull that up for you. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so on Monday and Tuesday, the bodies of the candles are respecting the mean threshold of that. We see some wicks into it, and we see it wick into the daily sell side imbalance by side inefficiency in black. Yeah, that one. Which is great. That reaction is seen. I like that wick on Tuesday, wicks into the premium high of the BISI level, and we see an expansion lower into the new week opening gap levels, which we'll cover it more deeply in the 4 hour. But so far, so good. I was bearish on this, and it's respecting the premium raise and running into discount right now. So my target for the week would be 4299.50, and that's it. If we keep seeing expansion lower, I will look for 4235, but that's probably for like in the next week or next like later on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Um, Price moving down here is kind of what we wanted to see, right? We want to see Dixie go higher. I want to see all these other pairs move lower. I think ES was very, very friendly to us. It did try and finally get below these and trade into a new week opening gap. Overall, yeah, I think you're right. I think it should definitely continuously try to get to this outside liquidity, and then maybe we can get down here. But yeah, we'll see. Let's go to the 4 hour for you.
Yeah. So a little deeper into the bearish order block mean threshold, you see that respect to that again. And we see how price kind of runs right through the two buy side like inefficiency levels highlighted in the blue. The daily BSC premium high and discount low levels. It runs right through it. We are at the 50% of the current range, so I would expect some measure of retracement into the end of the week. But we'll see how news takes this. But that's just something I'm cautioning. That's something that's on my mind. I will also reference that in that fair value gap in purple. I want to see how price reacts to that and the imbalance levels highlighted in blue again. There is a possibility that price could move up into there, but highly unfavored. But yeah, again, we'll see. Price currently is at the midpoint of the New Week opening gap. So we'll see how Thursday takes us, but I still do favor sell side liquidity 299.50.
Yeah, I definitely see that happening for ES, right? I don't think it's done yet, especially since it's already moving during Asian, right? So maybe it'll retrace for AM and then expand PM. That's kind of just what I would have. That's like gun to my head, what I would say to that. But let's move on from ES. Unless is there anything else you want to add for ES?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see like a Judas swing into like the purple, like the gap area, and then roll over. It would be the higher it moves up, the more unfavorable. Like I feel like it'd be very heavy to like high resistance to move higher. In this instance. Oh, and I will note that this week was pretty low probability because there were many instances where the indexes were not correlated with dollar. It was sometimes it would be moving in tandem with dollar, and it was very tricky to trade in those conditions. So I would definitely lower my risk if you're trading indexes until things kind of become more symmetrical.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on from E-mini. Move from S&P and go into NAS. So for NAS, I did bring up that. Oh, my bad. For NAS, I did bring up that there was a H4 bearish order block that I was gonna. We'll see it later, but there's also this daily bearish order block that I did not label out, and there's this intermediate term high that I was like, okay, if it takes out this high, I'm wrong. I was sidelined. So when price traded up into it, I was looking at this bearish order block and I shorted this, which I'll go over on the end of the week review. I was able to short this and then catch this move lower. So that would kind of just wrap my week up already. Just because, like you said, you can see how it shorts it, goes lower, and it just runs right back up into it. So it creates this long wick. And then price then continues going lower. All right, following the next day of Wednesday, going to continue going lower. And I'm still looking for sell side here, right? My overall, target was here, but this is about what 500 handles away. So I don't know if we can get there, but anything can happen, right? Like someone drops something, I'm not gonna say it here, but something happens in the world, and the markets hear about it, and they say, hey, we need to send the markets lower. They'll send the markets lower into these sell sides here. But as of right now, this is just a daily markup, right? And I do like the fact that we are still continuously pushing lower for this draw here, right? This is the first draw, and if it really gets lower, I'm looking at the bodies of this second and then down here. So if you're in a sell from here, I would recommend to take some partials off, right? There is news, right? So if it does get down here, I recommend you taking at least 80% off, 90%, just because, the week is very, very, it's near the end already. So if it just wants to come down a little bit lower and just consolidate for the rest of the week, it could do that too. Just be aware of that. Moving on to the, before we move on, do you have anything to add here, Leo?
Nah, not at the moment.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, so this is the H4 bearish order block, right? And then we have the intermediate term high here, right? I labeled that out as intermediate term high. So when price was coming up to, I wasn't afraid of it. I was like, if it wants to go bearish, it should not take out this high. My stop was just there, right? I was able to catch this full move lower, full pull is what ICT would call it, into these lows down here, which I was very, very happy with. And then obviously, as soon as it did that, it ran up again, right? Triggering all the people that try to have sell orders here, running their stop sell. I'm assuming they will put the stops here or just putting them in heavy underwater, right? So then after that, people either liquidate positions or like they're stopped out, then they start moving lower, right? But you look at how they're moving lower. It's very hard. Look, you're dropping here, you drop lower and it comes right back up. Price opens, runs higher, right? Runs higher, takes out the high here, drops lower, closes here. Price opens, drops, runs higher again. So it's very, very difficult to trust this move lower, right? I think that's what they were trying to do. They're trying to get people out of the markets and not trying to get them, allowing them to kind of stay into this short until down here, right? So overall, like I said, I do see price running for this low here, right? And it's getting very close to, it's about what, 50 handles away, 50, 40 handles away. So, or 50, 60 handles away, my bad. So if price does get down here, and if I don't catch anything else, I'm cool with just calling it a week, just because this week was a little bit more difficult to trade, right? Anything else you want to add here, Leo?
Yeah, so that the run lower where you said it was very hard to work with, that's when I really saw Dixie not correlating with the indexes. And so like if you're new, or if you are easily shaken out, this would be a very, very low probability time to be trading. Even though it went lower, there was so many opportunities for you to be wrong or get shaken out, or like mess up. So I'd be very careful continuing into next week.
Yeah. So just giving you guys a midweek update, right? I'm glad that we were able to kind of outline this out, right? But I mean, you can guys see it right now. Hindsight here, we didn't expect it to be this difficult for it to move, right? We're like, oh, we thought it would be a very smooth week, but obviously, what's going on in the world right now, it's very, very difficult to continue, like to call out what the market is going to do candle by candle, right? We have an idea of where it wants to draw to, and we'll trade accordingly to that until the market tells us we're wrong. Very simple, all right? So I think you guys should stick with that. Right. I hope you guys are enjoying these reviews, right? I know this is the first time I'm really doing this, right? But yeah, this should be wrapping up our midweek review for you guys, right? We'll have a end of the week review where we'll share our trades and what we were able to catch using our analysis from the beginning of the week. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And yeah, anything else you want to say to them, Leo, before we let them go?
Like, thumbs up, comment.
Like, thumbs up, comment. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Be safe, right? And yeah, good luck and good trading,
Mm.
you guys. Peace.